Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. This week we've extended the show to an hour again in order to include a review of this week's Township Council meeting, the ribbon-cutting celebration of Project D.R.E.A.M, that's demonstration of research, experimentation, and management of turfgrass at Rutgers University, an invitation to the Township's Memorial Day ceremony and picnic at the Municipal Complex, tips on how to plant Cannas roots from Pegi Ballister-Howells, and Dolly Vasta and Dr. Brian Johnson debunk myths about cats and dogs. These features and more this week, including information about changes to election districts in town from Municipal Clerk Elizabeth Kiss. But first, here's a preview of programming next week on Channel 8. Get Totally Toned Monday morning at 10 with Lenore Kulik on Look Great, Feel Great. At 10:30, Carol Phillips reads stories about pigs to a group of local 4-year-olds on Stories from the Library. Tuesday night at 7, local businesses are recognized for property improvements on EB18. At 7:30, Phil Hill discusses year-round conditioning with trainer Phil Hostler on Sports Talk. And at 8 o'clock, this year's Young Musicians Concert will be featured. Wednesday's lineup includes another look at the Lindbergh case with John Runyon and Dolly Vasta on For Art's Sake. That's at 7:30. The New Jersey Teen Arts program is highlighted on The Arts Wednesday night at 8. A new program focusing on the Township Council will be shown Thursday night at 6:30 and 8:30. Look for a new edition of This Week in East Brunswick at 7 and again at 8. At 7:30, Patty Sullivan speaks with 99-year-old resident Nick Bartholomew on aging aspects. Check the Community Bulletin Board for reruns and announcements of area events.
Come on out to the Daisy Spring Fair, Central Jersey's biggest week-long party, May 31st to June 6th at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Attractions all week include a circus, rides, food, car show, music by Shirley Reeves, Tommy Cash, William Lee Golden, and more. Free petting zoo, hot air balloons, and yes, fireworks. All to help our kids with special disabilities. So come on out to the Daisy Spring Fair, May 31st to June 6th at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds in East Brunswick, New Jersey.
At Monday evening's Township Council agenda meeting, Mayor Ira Oskowski read a proclamation recognizing the East Brunswick High School academic team for their success in the Decathlon of Knowledge.
And whereas the academic team recently won the Decathlon of Knowledge, a multi-subject academic contest held at Perth Amboy High School, and the Bridgewater Raritan Invitational Tournament of Excellence, BRIGHT, sponsored by the National Starch Company. And whereas this achievement brings distinction upon all of these individuals, their teammates, and family, and their own ability, now therefore we proclaim that I, Ira Oskowski, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, do hereby extend my hearty congratulations to all of the individuals listed as participants in the academic team and are worthy of recognition by the community because they have demonstrated the qualities of dedication, perseverance, and self-sacrifice, all of which suggests that they are now and will continue to be outstanding residents of our community. Congratulations to you all.
Also at Monday's meeting, Councilman Vincent LeBlanc read a resolution on behalf of the council honoring the St. Vincent de Paul Society.
Whereas St. Vincent de Paul Society is an international Catholic organization of lay men and women that was founded in 1833, and whereas the St. Vincent de Paul Society is active in the community and provides assistance to those in need due to catastrophic illness, death of a loved one, and loss of a job. And whereas St. Bartholomew's St. Vincent de Paul Conference was formed in April 1991 and to date has helped 165 individuals, thereby providing $41,000 in assistance. Now therefore be it resolved by the East Brunswick Township Council that it hereby commends the members of St. Bartholomew's St. Vincent de Paul Conference on their outstanding work and wishes them continued success in their endeavors. Congratulations.
In other council news, Adrian Eisner, the manager of budget and special projects, presented the administration's proposed 1993 capital budget to the council.
In 1993, debt principal, which will be amortized in the operating budget, is $2,469,474. We have allocated $115,000 in the operating budget for capital improvements and have an additional $40,000 in surplus, bringing the total amount available for the 5% down payment to $155,000. With this amount, we can bond up to $3,100,000. Our total outstanding general debt, excluding self-liquidating bonds and notes for the utilities, as of January 1st, 1993, is $32,489,800. When you subtract from this the $1 million to finance the purchase of 760 Route 18, which will be repaid by the Board of Education, and the $3.5 million for the Edgeboro Road jug handle, which is being repaid by MCUA, the net outstanding general debt is $27,989,800. What we are going to do this evening is look at the recommended programs by administration for 1993. The total amount that we have allocated for the annual programs comes to $934,943. And for the 1993 recommended projects, $1,761,540, bringing the total recommended 1993 capital budget to $2,696,483.
Some of the proposed capital improvement projects in the budget include annual road repairs, in addition to the Senior Citizen Center and Americans with Disabilities Act renovations to the Township Municipal Building. Council President David Zarnowski expressed concern with the issuance of additional debt in the proposed budget.
My concern is that we're issuing more debt than we're retiring. And it's 10% more in the total, $226,000. Now, most of the projects, 90% of the projects on here are very good and they do require to be done. But I'm concerned that we're issuing more than we're retiring.
Mayor Ira Oskowski defended the increase in debt issuance by explaining that because the town can borrow funds at a less expensive rate, the $2.6 million in debt issuance is equivalent in cost to the taxpayers of the $2.4 million the town was going to retire. Oskowski also argued that the annual road improvement project was a very important element of the capital budget.
1993 annual program and the recommended projects, I think I have a very, very strong feeling. And the comment is I wouldn't want to see any reduction in the road program because right now, quite frankly, we're under what we should be spending on the program. As it was stated by Adrian, Rich Mays has sent a letter saying that we should start raising it. We should be at a level close to $1 million.
Councilman Joseph Hudak said he was concerned about the increasing debt and how it will affect the taxpayers.
Seem to be getting into debt more and more and more. Now we got the jug handle. I always hear no cost to the taxpayers. But if I hear that for a few more years, I'll be moving out of town. No cost to the taxpayer.
And finally, the council set the summer schedule for meeting dates to include June 14th, June 28th, July 12th, July 26th, August 9th, and August 23rd.
Several weeks ago, when the Holocaust Memorial was dedicated in our nation's capital, some people raised voices of protest. Why build something which remembers something so tragic and horrible as the Holocaust? Why build something which keeps alive the haunting eyes and anguished faces of the 6 million Jews as well as others who died in the Holocaust? Why? Because we need to remember that seemingly good and intelligent people can become so engrossed in a faulty value system that not only do they let the Holocaust occur, but they see it as a plausible solution to the problems of a nation. Memorial Day is a time when we are called to remember. Now, yes, Memorial Day has become a time when we gather with families and friends, as we are doing as a community, gathering to celebrate Memorial Day. We will have fun, we will enjoy each other. but we need to make this a day when we remember. Not only must we remember those who gave their final full measure of devotion in giving their lives for this nation, but we need to remember all the people who help us to remember what is worth living for and what is worth dying for, that we may be a nation that is a land of the free and the home of the brave. A wise and courageous person once wrote, "Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is true, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." Memorial Day. Let us make this a day when we remember what needs to be remembered.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Enton, and today I'm at the Rutgers Gardens for the second annual Spring Flower Fair. Speaking with me is Steve Kristoff, chairman of the event. Steve, what's going on here today?
It's the second annual Spring Flower Fair. It's an event to celebrate spring and also a plant sale to generate monies for the Rutgers Gardens.
And I hear there's a rhododendron contest?
Yes, in the Holly House, opening at 1 p.m. on Saturday to the general public, there will be a display of a rhododendron cut flower show. It's a judge contest in which ribbons and awards are given to the top rhododendron flowers.
And who's the sponsor of this event today?
The sponsor of the Spring Flower Fair is a joint venture between the Friends of the Rutgers Gardens and the Princeton chapter of the American Rhododendron Society.
And I understand the gardens are open all year round?
Yes, the gardens are open 7 days a week, free of charge to the general public, 365 days a year, and come on down and visit us.
What types of things are there here for people to see?
At the Spring Flower Fair this weekend, there are tours of the gardens, there are plants of interest to see. There is a large plant sale with many types of azaleas and rhododendrons and ornamental trees, native plants from the Native Plant Society, many interesting plants.
Where are the gardens?
The gardens are located on Riders Lane here in New Brunswick, right off of Route 1.
One of the major events of the fair was the dedication of Project D.R.E.A.M, a 30,000 square foot turf grass demonstration plot. We caught up with the founder of Project D.R.E.A.M, Joseph Bianco, to find out what it's all about.
D.R.E.A.M stands for Demonstration of Research, Experimentation, and Management. That's how we come up with the name D.R.E.A.M. And the idea of this project here is for the public's consumption, for students who attend the university here. Now for the first time, it will become a teaching aid to them as a tool that they'll come out here to these grounds and be able to distinguish each species of grass as they're put side by side here. The plots here are 7.5 foot wide by 140 feet long. They'll be maintained as you would an ordinary home lawn. We're not going to do any tricks here. What we're trying to show the public is why water is not necessary all the time when growing turf. Half of this project will be underwater, under irrigation, and half will not be under irrigation. The species of grasses we have in here are tolerant to drought. We have other projects that will be going on this site here, which will be a water runoff demonstration. Also, we're going to have a green, which was a putting green, with an approach to it that will be done in bent grasses. And also, we're going to have an area set up at the other end over here, which will be the tee that will be for students who are studying fine turf. And in the approach, we will have 3 varieties of bent grasses. And these bent grasses will help in the studies of the students who are going to be studying here at Cook College at Rutgers University. And from then, we will also be putting in a grass called Poa trivialis, which is a very important grass in today's industry that not many people know about. This particular grass is called a rough-stalk bluegrass. It is a Poa, but it will tolerate shade and moist areas. So we're very excited to be able to have all these grasses in place for the public to see and for landscapers and the green industry to come here to visit.
How did you come up with the idea for this project?
Well, I studied here in 1963. I was a graduate in turf grass management. And I didn't know at the time that what one grass looked like from another, so over the years, I guess, within the last 5 years now, it was a dream that I had to be able to establish something here for the university, give something back as a landscape maintenance person that I've been in business for 35 years. And this was I guess my donation to the public, to the students, to people who would enjoy having this particular type of project here.
We also spoke with Dr. Darrell Lund, Executive Dean of Cook College, Rutgers University, and Ned Lippman, Director of Continuing Education for Cook College, about the educational significance of Project D.R.E.A.M.
Well, we have both undergraduate programs and graduate programs, and one of the things that's really key in the educational process is to get the students, graduate students and undergraduate students, and, as we'll hear in just a moment, continuing professional education students out to actually see what turf grasses look like out, planted, where people can walk on them, they can feel them, they can look at them, and they can evaluate them. So it's very, very important in the practical part of our educational process.
Mr. Lippman, what is your role?
As Director of Continuing Education, what our function is in serving the needs of the landscape industry of New Jersey is to provide the hands-on experiences which will enable professionals to support the homeowners of our state. And by having a turf plot established such as this, professionals can come out and, as Darrell said, evaluate different types of seed varieties and determine for homeowners what the right varieties of turf grass are for particular areas on the home lawns and on commercial lawns throughout our state.
And this can be done through courses offered?
Yes, we offer over 100 short courses a year to professionals in the horticultural, landscape, turf management industries. Rutgers has been running these programs now for over 80 years, and more recently we accommodate over 2,000 professionals each year. These hands-on experiences, we're told, are the best part of the learning process.
Thank you.
Come on out to the Daisy Spring Fair, Central Jersey's biggest week-long party, May 31st to June 6th at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Attractions all week include a circus, rides, food, car show, music by Shirley Reeves, Tommy Cash, William Lee Golden, and more. Free petting zoo, hot air balloons, and yes, fireworks. All to help our kids with special disabilities. So come on out to the Daisy Spring Fair, May 31st to June 6th at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds in East Brunswick, New Jersey.
A show of artwork by students from East Brunswick Public Schools will continue at the library through the end of May. Work by students from Churchill Junior High and East Brunswick High School is currently on display. The exhibit includes abstractions, self-portraits, collages, photographs, and computer-generated graphics.
Hi, I'm Josephine Fiamingo. The Friends of the Library presents On Broadway as its spring program on May 27th at 8 p.m. at the library. Hear show tunes from Oklahoma, West Side Story, Showboat, and more, all performed by singer and pianist Heidi Hayes. She is a veteran artist who has performed opera, operettas, concert works, and musical theater throughout the country. She will combine live performance with lecture, tracing the roots of the musical theater form. There will be copies of relevant articles and a bibliography made available to the public. This program was made possible by a grant from the New Jersey Committee for the Humanities, which is a state program of the National Endowment for the Humanities.
Hi, as Memorial Day approaches, I bet you're wondering what the township has planned for its residents. Well, there's a little change over what we've been doing in recent years, and that is that the parade will not be held this year. We're going to return to an old tradition here in East Brunswick where we have the Memorial Day ceremony and a township picnic. The most important part of our plans, of course, has always been the observance, and with me is Karen Burke, the manager of recreation, who's going to tell us all about the ceremony. Karen, tell us about the ceremony and what we should expect this year.
Okay, well, probably the most important thing is that we're celebrating on Sunday, May 30th, and the ceremony change from last year will be from last year at 3 o'clock, this year will be 1 o'clock, and that's very important for everybody to be there. And I've been working with the veterans since the fall, as you know. We work through the winter time to prepare for the ceremony.
It's always a beautiful ceremony.
Well, and I think that East Brunswick honors their veterans very highly, and we hold them in high esteem. So we've been working with the Jewish war veterans, and they're our host post this year. The D.R.E.A.M vets will be back. Let me think. The American Merchant Marines veterans will be there.
That's a new group with us this year.
Well, they came last year as a guest, and now are organized fully in East Brunswick, and they will be part of our ceremony on a permanent basis. They're in the rotation, so to speak. So it's 1 year you'll see them as host post. The VFW, who was our host post last year, they're involved. We will once again have the Chamber of Commerce, who's always very supportive, and of course East Brunswick Township. John Kish and the high school band will be there to help us facilitate the music and the marching music, et cetera, et cetera. Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts will be there to help us and assist the veterans in the ceremony, and then in the festivities afterwards that we'll get back to you about. What else?
Well, I'm very happy to hear about the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. They've always been a part of the ceremony, but it seems like this year they're going to have a very active part.
Very active part. They will have an honor guard. They will line the walkway to honor the veterans, and this is part of our educational process too. The Sea Cadets, again, hopefully will be returning and stand in honor guard also. So we really, I feel that we've been very responsible with regards to the ceremony, and it's also educational, and we encourage everyone to come on out, bring your kids out so that they understand why we have Memorial Day and the real reason for it. And really, quite frankly, folks, the real reason for Memorial Day is about our freedom. I think this is a real neat t-shirt, but it's about our freedom and how we got there, and we owe it to the vets. So hope to see you. Remember, May 30th, 1 o'clock at the flagpole at East Brunswick Municipal Complex. See ya.
Well, thank you, Karen, for telling us about the very important part of our Memorial Day ceremony. And now I'm going to tell everybody about the fun part, because we do have a lot of fun planned. I have my traditional Memorial Day cap and my lucky Memorial Day earrings, which I wear at every event, and I know you really miss seeing them.
Oh, I do. I tried to get in there with this shirt, Judy, but, you know,
well,
she's the boss, folks. What can I tell you?
It's become a trademark. What can I say? We do have lots of fun planned. We want everyone to go first to the ceremony at 1 o'clock, and again, that's rain or shine at the flagpole area.
At the flagpole.
And right after there, I want you to be hungry and come out ready for fun, because we have a whole day planned from 2 to 5 at the Civic Center grounds around the pond. We are putting together a beautiful event for the whole family. It's an old-fashioned picnic, and we're going to be serving hot dogs and soda and different beverages and even ice cream for the kiddies, and that's all free, and that's going to be served from 2 to 4. And the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts are going to help us to serve our handicapped visitors and our senior citizens and our veterans groups to make that a little bit more enjoyable for them. We want you to bring your lawn chairs and blankets and even your own coolers if you think your appetite's going to be really big that day, and be ready for a whole day of entertainment. Karen's staff has put together a really super
lineup. We have the Daisy Jug Band that's going to do rockabilly music. It's going to rock the place all afternoon. We have the Deans of Harmony, their barbershop chorus.
Continuous music all day, folks.
All day, continuous entertainment right here in East Brunswick. We're going to have children's activities all day long. There's going to be costumed characters. I hear rumors that there may be a purple thing walking around that's very popular with kids. And there's going to be other costumed characters. There's going to be a puppet show, and there's going to be a miniature train ride that you can get a free ride on. Also, WMGQ is going to be there, and they're going to broadcast live from the Civic Center. Now, every year we've had pretty good luck with the weather because I wear my lucky hat. But if not, if it rains, we're going to go down to the fairgrounds, and we're going to do that all under a tent. And the reason why we can go down there under a tent is because the next day is the Daisy Fair.
Correct.
And everybody in town comes out to the Daisy Fair, whether they come to visit and spend lots of money or if they come out to help. And the Daisy Fair will run from May 31st to June 6th.
Correct.
The first night of the fair, on the 31st, there's fireworks, and that's all part with your admission. And that also still helps the Daisy program. Now, all weekend long, you get to go to the community beach for free. And this will be one of the last Memorial Day weekend at the community beach. That's correct. Because next year we have big plans for a family aquatic center. So we have lots for you to do here in East Brunswick. The weather's always beautiful. You don't need to drive and go far away when you can have a great day with us.
Good old-fashioned picnic. Come out and meet your friends and make new friends and spend some time and enjoy the music and the day, and the kids will be taken care of.
Right, and come out and see my hat. We hope you all come out.
I'll wear my shirt, Judy.
Okay, we're on. We'll see you then.
Hi, welcome to Blooming Acres. As you can see, I've got a pretty big project here. All of these cannas overwintered in the root cellar, and they all overwintered very well. They're quite healthy, which is good, except that you get about 4 times as many cannas at the end of the growing season as what you started with. So that means I have 4 times to start this season off with, more than I had last year. So we have a lot of cannas here. And for those of you who don't know what they look like when they're growing, they look sort of like a cross between a banana plant and a corn plant. And they have these great big leaves, and they can get to be about 6 to 8 feet tall, and they get these spikes of flowers on the top. These happen to be red, but they come in other colors too, pink and yellow and orange. Now, this is the root, and you can see this particular one, it's sort of a tuberous root as opposed to a true bulb, although it's considered really a summer flowering bulb. Now, you can see how nice and pink and healthy this is. This is a little bit brown here on the outside, but right underneath that layer of brown, it's quite healthy. This is a growing tip. This is last year's growing tip. This is the shoot that we cut off last year at the end of the season. And it's got a couple more growing tips. You could plant this just the way it is. Now, you would want to make sure you have good drainage because you don't want them to rot, and also a lot of compost in the soil or organic matter in the soil because they really need moisture, and if it's too sandy, then the water will run right through and the cannas won't get them. So you could plant this one just like this and make sure you have the growing tips going up, and you'd put them in the soil, say maybe about 2 to 3 inches down. But you may get a bigger one or one that has some injury on it, and you may want to break them apart, like this one right here. See, it was a little bit broken, so we'll break that apart, and we'll get that one. And now we have another one over here. And this part is a little bit weak right here, so you may want to take that off. See, this is a little bit of rot there. Now, this one is small enough that it probably will grow, so that if you have a shortage of them, one this small is really okay. If you have a choice, though, you'll do better with ones a little bit larger than this. Now, if you know of anybody who has these, they probably have some that they'd like to share. If not, they are available in most garden centers, and make sure you pick the ones that you want for the spot that you want, because some of the dwarf varieties stay low, and of course that makes a big difference. The large ones do best as a border planting or planted alone or in a very formal garden in the center. Well, we've got a lot of them in here. Seems like I better get going. It's going to take a while to get these all in. Remember that when you plant them, you're going to have to dig them up again in the fall. So before you get started, you may want to think ahead. You end up with an awful lot. We'll see you here next week at Blooming Acres.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Wisniewski, chairman of the 6th Annual Daisy Spring Fair, to be held at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds in East Brunswick, New Jersey. We'd love to have you all come out and see our beautiful family fair.
Hi, my name's Nikki Rick. I'm also a chairperson for the Daisy Fair, and we'd love to have you come out and see the fireworks on Monday night.
Fireworks, the best. The biggest finale that East Brunswick is going to see is this year. Last year the weather was a little against us, but this year we're going for a double finale. Arts and crafts, circus is back with the fair for the whole week. We got a car show. We have Billy Clyde the pig for the first time making an appearance for the handicapped children on Thursday at the fair. The hot air balloons, weather permitting, are back. Nikki, help me, more.
Oh, well, there's plenty more, Ron.
About the mayor.
It's the mayor. Well, if everybody wants to come out and dunk the mayor, we have the dunking booth back again this year, and Friday night our mayor will be there waiting for people to dunk him. So come on out. The postmaster will be back. The post office employees. We have the Spotswood First Aid Squad coming. We have plenty of events planned for the Daisy Fair.
I want to encourage you people out there in our town and surrounding towns to, it's still not too late to get the last minute 50% off amusement rides at the Recreation Department at the Township Rec Office through Karen Burke and her committee. 50% off, it's a real great savings. Nikki, more.
Oh boy, more. There's lots more. Ron knows most of the things that are happening.
Spaghetti wrestling, oatmeal wrestling, the high school's involved, the special police are involved, the PBA's involved, the fire company's involved, the whole town's involved with the Daisy Fair. It's just a wonderful event, and I hope it's going to be the same weather we have here today as we're shooting, and it'll be a perfect fair. Again, the fair runs Monday, Memorial Day, May 31st through Sunday, June the 6th. The hours are Monday through Friday from 5 to 11 p.m. and on Saturday and Sunday from 12 noon to 11 p.m. with a grand finale of 50-50 that's going to be, you'd want to walk home with the money. So come on out to the Daisy Fair.
Hi, welcome back once again to The Pet Doctor. I'm your host, Dolly Vasta, and my co-host is...
I'm Dr. Brian Johnson from the Cranberry Veterinary Hospital in East Brunswick.
We're going to have another fun one today.
Okay, what's that?
Okay. We've been talking about myths. We discussed cats and the myths about cats. We're going to extend it a little bit today to a question that I always hear, that dogs and cats are natural enemies, that a dog, if it sees a cat sitting on a porch, if I take Duff for a walk, he has never had a bad experience with a cat. He sees a cat sitting there, he goes nuts. And so I often wondered whether there is such a thing as natural enemies.
That's territorialism.
Oh.
If it was a cat, dog, or anything else, he'd be upset. But if cats and dogs are natural enemies, I better very quickly go home and tell mine, because my Doberman, 2 poodles, 3-4 cats, and 2 birds all sit together and have a wonderful time.
Well, I have seen that, so I know that you're not putting us on. I have been there and I have seen it, and I can attest to that fact.
Yeah. Cats and dogs are not, there's actually no such thing as natural enemies. Cats, dogs, birds, anything you want will get along as they're raised together, as long as there's adequate food. Any animal will fight over food if it's hungry. They need space, they have to have a proper environment, but no animals are going to fight or be natural enemies. What they can do is they have natural curiosities and idiosyncrasies. If you have a pet cat and a bird comes in very quickly and goes fluttering by, cats love movement. He's going to jump on it. And
he doesn't know that that is specifically a bird that he wants. I mean, there's not an instinct in him to get that and jump on it.
It's movement. Because after I've had the same situation. One of my cats, I had a little parakeet. It used to climb up on top of the cat's head, reach down, grab its eyebrow, pluck it up, and I could see the cat going, But they would, and he knew it was my bird. Wouldn't touch it. I had the hamsters. I'm going to try to get a video of my household.
Yes, it should be very interesting.
To try to show you what birds, cats, dogs, all shapes and sizes actually do. But no, there's no such thing as natural enemies, and as long as you understand the idiosyncrasies of the animals, we talked about the greyhounds a while back. If a cat would go running by, it will chase it only because it chases anything that moves. But it is not a hate relationship or an enemy, merely a curiosity.
I mean, hopefully I won't get any letters on this, but I have often heard that German Shepherds really do not get along with cats too well.
Okay, that's not really true.
That's not really
No.
true?
If you take an older shepherd, especially one that's been trained for obedience training, and any animal comes into its house, it's been trained. But as far as a natural type situation, no, there's no natural hatred for that animal.
If you had an older pet, regardless of which it was, a cat or a dog, so then it's better, what you're saying, it's really better to bring in a kitten or a puppy.
Yes, a youngster. Older animals have a natural tolerance for the young and will put up with more than you can ever believe. But even so, introduce them slowly. There's the big dog, little dog syndrome. If I introduced a little kitten with my Doberman, she'll say, oh, that's cute, plop, and you have a big spot on the floor. So you've got to be careful. That's not hatred or an enemy, that's just size-wise. You got to be careful. But no, they will get along very well. No problems there.
That's terrific. See, you learn something new all the time.
Hopefully.
Yes, and we hope you do too. We'll see you all next week. In the meantime, take care.
And have a good day, folks.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Kiss, Municipal Clerk for the Township of East Brunswick, and I'm here today to talk to you about the recent redistricting that the Township has experienced, which was instituted by the Middlesex County Board of Elections. Soon you shall be receiving, those of you in Districts 27, 34, the old District 36, and old Districts 30 and 31, a card from the County Board of Elections, which is going to indicate to you that there has been a change in the election district in which you are living in. These changes came about because the total number of registered voters went over the maximum allowed by state law. That maximum is 750 registered voters in one district. District 34 went well over the 1,000 mark, and so did District 36 and 37, and also, I believe, District 30 and 31. So we had to readjust some boundaries and make it easier for the voters to go into the polling places on Election Day to go ahead and cast their ballot. You might want to know, why didn't we achieve this much sooner? Why did we wait until this year to do it? Well, last year we had a mayoral and presidential election, and that would have really inconvenienced the voters. So we tried to accomplish it in a year when it would least affect the voters. How have we changed those election districts? Well, election District 36 was changed into 2 districts, and a new boundary was struck. District 37 was also split into 2 districts, creating a new District 40. And District 30 and 31 were changed to allow a new District 38. District 27 and 34, just their boundaries were reshifted. This will not really affect the voters all that much, in that they will still be voting at the same polling location. Their polling location will not change. Let's talk a little bit about some of the boundaries and the streets that are going to be affected by these changes. District 34 used to have a registered voter population of 1,082. And it will change. We are going to be taking and putting into District 27 all of Fresh Ponds Road, Church Lane, Beekman Road, Colessa Court, Dutch Road, but only those odd numbers 91 to 163, and the even numbers 100 to 142. Hardenberg Lane, the odd numbers 95 to 127, and the even numbers 104 to 130. These will now move into the new District 27. New District 37 will be comprised of Andover Place, Bromley Court, Bromley Place, Covington Court, Cranberry Road, only those numbers 548 to 554. Danbury Court, Danbury Lane, Hayward Court, Hopkinson Court, Jennifer Court, Livingston Court, Morton Court, New Brunswick Avenue, those house numbers from 373 to 401, Payne Court, Ross Court, Rutledge Court, Stone Court, Thornton Place, Walton Court, and Wilson Court. New District 40, which is Society Hill 1, will be Applegate Lane, McDowell Drive, Morgan Place, Palumby Court, Adams Court, Clark Court, Cranberry Circle, Hancock Court, Lewis Court, Morris Court, Rush Court. New District 36 will be comprised of Lonnie Drive, Langley Road, Sandalwood Drive, Oak Crest Drive, Star Road, Marshall Road, Van Wickle Road, Apache Court, Navajo Road, Mohawk Court, Buffalo Run, Lenape Lane, New Brunswick Avenue, the odd numbers, house numbers 311 to 355. Cherokee Road, Cranberry Road, house numbers 602, 606, 624, and 634. Deer Run, Fern Road, the even house numbers 24 through 56. Huron Court, Old Stage Road, even house numbers 442 to 634. Pawnee Road and Seminole Court. District 39 is going to be the new Kingswood Station development, but will also involve Crescent Avenue, Dorchester Drive, Hyde Park Drive, Kentisbury Circle, Kingswood Station, Miller Avenue, Old Stage Road, even numbers, house numbers 640 to 670, odd house numbers 549 to 673. RD1 Box 64A, Locust Avenue, The Commons, RD1 Washington Avenue, Aldingham Circle, Cranberry Road, even numbers 646 to 746, and The Commons at Kingswood Station, and The Commons at Kingswood Drive, and all of the variations thereof for The Commons at Kingswood. Finally, new District 38 will be composed of Ruse Lane, house numbers 166, 236, 240, 248, 250, and 252. Barron Lane, Dallenbach Lane, LaRue Lane, Loyo Court, Rachel Drive, Van Loo Court, Williams Court. Also included will be Judith Court, Douglas Road, Elaine Road, Loretta Drive, Racetrack Road, Summerhill Road, and these are house numbers 88, 134, 136, 138, 162, and 176. Susan Lane, Terry Lane, and Violet Court. If I've read any of your street numbers, that means that you will be receiving a notice from Middlesex County Board of Elections that your election district has changed. Should you have any questions, we welcome your calls at the Municipal Clerk's Office at 390-6850. I also would like to tell you that you will be voting at new polling locations. Districts 30, 31 have always voted at Irwin School. That will remain. Also, new District 38, which was carved out of Districts 30 and 31, will also be voting at Irwin School. District 36 used to vote at Clubhouse Society Hill 1. This is a change. You will now be voting at the Old Bridge Volunteer Firehouse at the corner of Fern Road and Old Stage Road. District 37 used to vote at Frost School. You will now be voting at the Clubhouse Society Hill East number 2 at 501 Covington Court. District 39, which is now the new voting district for Kingswood Station, will be voting right at the Clubhouse at Kingswood Station on Kingswood Boulevard. And District 40 will be voting at Clubhouse, Society Hill, East 1, 415 Village Drive. Again, if you have any questions relating to this redistricting, please feel free to call us at the Municipal Clerk's Office at 390-6850. Thank you.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching.